In the last episode, my characters hit level 15, so I'm going to start this one off by doing my first job quest. One character will be a mercenary, the other one will be an assist. Let's get started. It's so strange that these quests have a time limit. They are really easy and the time limit is way too generous to ever become a problem. But the mechanic of time quest is introduced here and it's never used again throughout the entire game. Alright, that's the job quest done. Now I have to choose my skill and stat points. I will put all the stat points of my assist in int. Not really a surprise there. I will also max Moonbeam on him. Even though I will need as many buffs as I can get, Moonbeam is simply too good to pass up. And I really need the extra damage, as my mercenary will not be dealing a lot of damage until much later in the game. On my mercenary I will put all my points into stamina. This is usually not very good. If you are making your own mercenary and just want to reach level 60 as quickly as possible, I will always recommend full strength. But some of the bosses I will hunt down before level 60 are capable of killing most characters in one hit, so I will need all the HP that I can get. For now, I won't do anything with his skill points. When I hit level 20, I will max protection for the defense boost. I'm not completely sure yet what I will do with the rest of my points. Active skills will make me deal the most damage, but I might not be able to use them. I will do most of my experience grinding before level 60 with Moonbeam anyway. So the passive skills might be the better choice, as I will be able to take more advantage of them while killing bosses. But even if I go with the passive skills, my mercenary's auto attack damage will not be very high, so I'll think about it some more. Now that my characters have completed their first job quest, I prepare for the next boss on my list, the Lord Damien. This is one of the easier bosses on the list, and the only boss on the list that I will have to attempt while being a higher level than it. Because it is not possible to fight it until you've completed the first job quest, and it is level 13. The Lord Damien quest is part of the Rionan quest line. This is a quest line that spans from level 15 to level 100, so I will be doing a lot more of that along the way. I start the quest line and my first task is to hunt 15 level. When I get started on it, it quickly becomes clear that my assist is the damage dealer of my two characters at the moment. Lianshu deals even less damage than when he was a vagrant, because he is full stamina now. And Gristo is able to take out monsters with a single cast of Moonbeam with ease. I've always thought that Moonbeam is too powerful before level 60, as it sort of invalidates all other playstyles. I usually don't rely on Moonbeam to get my characters to level 60 for that reason, but since Lianshu is near incapable of dealing damage at the moment, now is not the time to get hung up on this. I finish the quest, return to Rionan, and then I am tasked with killing the Lord Damien. The Lord Damien. All Lord type monsters look a little bit different from their giant counterparts, but they do have the exact same stats and attacks. The Lord Damien has one special attack, a 180 degree attack that is a bit slower than the one that the giant Ibet had, but it is also a lot wider. It cannot heal itself and does not berserk. I start the fight and I immediately notice that I have forgotten to disable the auto attack option for my assist. This will not make things easier, as I want to keep my assist away from the Damien so that it can be targeted by the special attack. The damage of my Moonbeam is really good though. I'm still healing my mercenary with the chocolate bars, and run away when my healing can't keep up with the damage output. I do end up dying with my mercenary because I had to switch to my assist to reapply Moonbeam. I finished the Damien by applying Moonbeam and running away. Which might have been the best way to tackle this boss from the start. But this will not be a viable strategy for future bosses, so I just attempted to kill it the normal way. I'm going to attempt the next boss with a split screen setup that allows me to switch between my characters more easily. I will also disable the auto attack feature for my assist. After I'm finished, I turn in the quest. The next boss on my list is Big Muscle, an extremely strong rock muscle that is level 25. Very few people hunt it, as you can't kill it anymore once you're level 30 or higher. I've never fought it before on any character. His attack stat is much higher than that of the Lord Damien, and he berserks at low HP. He has over 225k HP, which is way more than giants have at this level. To deal with this, I plan to acquire the highest defense gear that I can get at level 25, and to get a collector so I can farm some materials to upgrade it. First, it's time for some math. I wonder what the highest defense that I can get is. It will either be the level 15 pedal set, or the highest tier normal equipment for that level. Defense works kind of weird in this game. As is often the case, the defense shown in our stat window is not correct. The contribution of your armor and shield is way less than it appears to be. They actually only give 25% of the defense that is stated in the stat window. Other forms of flat defense such as plug earrings or stat bonuses are correct. With this information I'm going to compare my options. On the left we have the pedal set, and on the right we have a regular set, which is a combination of mythic and real gear. However, mythic gear is uncommon and can't be bought from shops. I've already found the suit, but we'll have to see if I actually find the gauntlets too. At first glance it looks obvious that the regular equipment set wins, but with the information about how it really works we can figure out if that's really true. Now that we know that armor parts give 25% of their average defense value as actual defense, we can simply take the average of all of this. The pedal set gives 79.5 defense, while the normal gear gives 104.9. This would mean that the regular gear is significantly better. However, the pedal set has extra defense as a set effect. Plus 17 at 2 parts and plus 39 at 3 parts. This is flat defense that does apply at its full value. If we add this to the equation, the pedal set actually pulls ahead with 118.5. However, we can go even higher. Since the 39 defense bonus is already given at 3 parts, there's no reason to go for a 4th. The 4th set part gives 5% critical chance, which I do not care for since I have no critical damage and my mercenary doesn't deal much damage to begin with. If we combine the mythic suit with 3 pedal parts, we end up with 125.4. which is even better. But we might still be able to go a little bit higher. As I did this, I realized that the gap in defense between real boots and pedal boots is bigger than the gap between a pedal suit and a mythic suit. So if we use real boots with the pedal helmet, the pedal suit and the pedal gauntlets, we have the most possible defense we can have at level 25. Now that is settled, I know what to look for as I'm browsing shops. However, I'm going to need Penya first. I need a board, a collector and some extras. I plan to take on quests that give a lot of money in the next levels, as well as a quest that rewards a plug earring. I continue the Rheonan questline and quickly level up to 16. I also start the Lara Mountain Dungeon questline, as it rewards a plug earring halfway through. Through the quest I also quickly reached level 17 and level 18. At some point in the questline, Rhiannon asks me to go to Saint Morning, so I teleport my characters there for the first time. Saint Morning. For many players, one of the most nostalgic areas in the game. This is where your character's first job really gets to shine. There aren't actually too many bosses on my list on Saint Morning itself, but my characters will still complete many quests and levels here. And eventually, when they've reached a higher level, I will take on the Iblis Temple. I meet Leanne, and now I need to get the remaining experience to get to level 19 myself. I decide to hunt some banks, as they are nearby and I don't have all the golden wings for the office quest yet. While I'm there, it becomes very clear that full stamina mercenaries deal painfully little damage. With only 110 damage per hit and very poor accuracy, it takes Leanne Chu a long time to kill something. Thankfully, Christo's Moonbeam is still extremely strong, and he has no problem killing them in one cast. I reach level 19 and grab some more quest items before I go. I fall just short of hitting level 20 after completing the 2 level 19 quests. So I decide to head to Pumpkin Town while grabbing some of the quest items I need for the history questline along the way. There I meet Mayan, who gives both of my characters 50k, money that I will soon need. I moonbeam some Mr. Pumpkin and hit level 20. I now put points into Leanne Chu's first skill, Protection. It's not the most spectacular or interesting skill, but the defense buff's really nice since he is the tank. And this skill will remain useful all the way until level 120. As I'm walking through flares, I spot a blue jade sword for only 100k in a player shop. I know these sell to NPCs for 160k, so I buy it to make a quick profit. I forgot however that on FWC all items sell for half of their normal value, so I end up losing 14k instead. After accepting some quests and flares, I buy my character's flying boards. I can only afford the cheapest ones. It flies so slow that a player with quickstep can outrun them. But we all gotta start somewhere. As I'm flying I realize that I'm now high enough level to max my first buff. Heap up. And while I'm killing some moth beasts for the Laram Mountain questline, I get really lucky and drop a plug earring on my very first kill. I then complete the remaining level 20 steps of the Laram Mountain questline. I hit level 21 along the way and got another plug earring at the end of the quest. After I finished, I went on to complete the Laws of Aviation questline that I picked up earlier. This quest has another mechanic that is unique to this specific questline. You are not allowed to use blink wings. This is probably to ensure that you actually learn how to fly and don't just teleport somewhere. I fly around Saint Morning some more while doing some quest steps along the way. And then I fly back all the way to Flaren at a snail's pace. After a while of AFK flying, I come back to see that my characters have been killed by the giant Nepubara. But the joke is on him, as respawning in flares actually saves me a lot of time compared to flying there. And characters don't lose experience when they fall off the map after they've died. Back at Flares, I buy my first collector for 100k. It's not a very good one, it only collects 50 materials per kill. But it will have to do for now as I don't have 5 million on me. I then decide to do some shopping. I buy a petal helmet for just 15k. I also buy a few power dice 8 to upgrade my plugs to +3. And I spent my last money on a gore necklace +3. I still need to buy a petal suit and gauntlets. But the suit will cost me at least 300k, so I need to earn more money first. To make money I start collecting errands. The collecting process is excruciatingly slow, as I need to cast Moonbeam at least 10 times to kill a catcher. And a collector also needs a lot of time. But I only need to gather from a couple of catchers to make enough money. While I'm looking for catchers I spot a giant ibet and deliver some much needed payback. Once I collected 350 errands, I try to sell them, but I'm greeted by the message that you need to be at least level 30 to open a vendor. So it looks like I will have to sell them through shouting. But soon a nice player informed me that you only need to be level 30 to open a vendor. You don't need to be level 30 to open a shop. I'd already agreed to sell the errands to someone for 700k, but this information will come in handy later. With these 700k I buy petal gauntlets, a petal suit and a fury shield. Now that I've done my purchases, I still need to get to level 25. To get the remaining 4 levels, I do various quests of the Rionan, Office, History, Mia and Marsmine dungeon questline. After hitting level 25 I put 9 points into Empower Weapon and 20 into Blazing Sword. This is a very nice damage boost for Lianshu and he really needs it. I can also finally equip my +3 accessories. But before attempting to take on Big Muscle, I want to upgrade my gear a little bit to become as tanky as I can before I start. For this I will need some more materials and a bit of money, as I haven't found any power dice 4 myself and I will need 16. I collect 300 more errands and I sell them for 1.2 mil this time. The first thing I do with the money is buy a stem ring +3 for only 50k to fill out my remaining ring slot. Next I gather the materials that I will use to upgrade my own gear. I fly Guisto to the patches of desert below the long wing spawn, because there are usually a lot of guru catchers there and no aggressive monsters. I also collect some minerals at the Garden of Rises. After collecting materials, I first buy a better suit and boots for Guisto, as I never found any and he also needs to be able to survive some hits. I bought some power dice 4 and made all of Lianshu's armor +4. With a 10% extra hit rate, the hit rate from the pedal set and the extra hit rate from Blazing Sword, I should finally be decently accurate with my attacks. I also make my sword water +1 and my suit water +4, since Big Muscle is a fire type. I decide to test my defenses. This Jack the Hammer is 4 levels higher than me, but barely deals any damage to me with my current gear. Lianshu is incredibly tanky for a level 25 character. There's only one thing I need to do before I can go in. I need some food. I decide to look around player shops for it. Star candies are the best food that NPC shops sell. They heal for 1200 hit points and cost 580 penya each. But players often sell gratin, which heals for 1750 hit points for less. I buy 500 gratin for 250k. With everything set, I'm ready to go in. The only thing I know about Big Muscle before going in is that he has a lot of HP for a level 25 monster. His attack stat is also fairly high and he berserks well below 20% health. I will have to fight him on easy, as it is required to beat easy before being able to start on normal. For later bosses I intend to just leech a kill so that I can fight him on normal, which is the intended difficulty. But it isn't an option for these bosses, because nobody ever kills them. When I first enter the arena, I am a bit disoriented, but I quickly figure out that this door can be opened. There are a bunch of large peaky turtle in front of me that I decide to deal with first before looking at the boss. I also drink a refresher hold on Guisto, since I have quite a few and I expect this boss to take a while. After I got rid of the peaky turtles, I engaged the boss. I take some damage from falling rocks and Lianshu gets stunned almost right away. After casting Moonbeam, he comes after Guisto to attack him in a way that I've never seen a fly boss do. But the damage isn't so high that Guisto dies from it. It also turns out that the boss is immune to Moonbeam, which means that the fight is going to take a long time. The initial hit of Moonbeam still deals damage, but the damage over time can be applied. This means that Lianshu will have to deal most of the damage by himself. I'm really happy that I put water on his sword before starting the fight. Big Muscle's damage is surprisingly low for a monster with such a high attack stat. Even Guisto can survive his attacks with freeze. But as I'm focusing on keeping him alive, I forgot to heal with Lianshu and he dies instead. Luckily I've put 1 point into resurrection so I can get him back up. But he no longer has Pang buffs, so it deals even less damage than before. Since tanking the boss is not a problem, and Lianshu has to deal most of the damage by himself, I decide to switch out a plug earring for a demo earring to speed it up a little bit. But then something unfortunate happens. Rizzo gets stunned while casting heal. This cancels the heal. The sound and animation do come through, so I don't notice it, and I don't heal him with food. ep2 now has to finish the fight by himself. This goes on for a good while. Eventually ep2 has no buffs left at all, but the food is doing a good job of keeping him alive. After a while, I win the War of Attrition and Big Muscle rolls over. He drops a bunch of random quest items and 2 power dice 6. Not exactly drops to help my character out of poverty, but the first attempt at Big Muscle was a success. I have one more boss left to fight this episode. The mutant giant Bang King, the giant of the bangs in the marsh mine. As with all marsh mine monsters, he deals significantly more damage than the monsters outside of the dungeon. He is level 29, so I have to level up 4 more times before I fight him. The next quests I plan on doing require level 26, so I have to get 1 level just by grinding. I decide to go to Mr. Pumpkin, collect the remaining quest items that I need from them, and then move on to the next monsters and get their quest items. I spot the giant Mr. Pumpkin and decide to kill him as well, since he is sure to drop multiple quest items. He's actually fairly easy to defeat now that ep2 has very good gear, and he can survive a special attack without stepping out of it. I gather quest items of Red Mantis and collect some of the Jack the Hammers as well, before leveling up to 26. I then get back to questing. I complete more steps in the history questline and the Portrait of Rodean questline. While getting some quest items from the Violet Magician Circle in Hill's Shade, I need to steal some quest items of the history questline from right underneath the Grandmaster. I will fight him later when I am a higher level, but he already tries to come after me. This questline features another hidden mechanic. All the members of the Violet Magician troupe turn hostile against you when you have these quests active, even when their names aren't read. It's pretty interesting that old quests have so many of these hidden mechanics that are never used again. I then do some more quests to level up to 28, and go back to just killing monsters to get to 29. I get the remaining Jack the Hammer quest items that I still needed, and also get the Gigglebox quest items. I reach level 29 after I'm finished getting them. I then make my way over to the Marsh Mine. I decide to upgrade a different sword to Wind +1, as the mutant giant Bang King is weak to wind. The Marsh Mine would be such a great place to grind experience, as the monsters there give about 60% more experience than the monsters outside, while they have the same amount of health. But there are so many quests of level 20 that just grinding experience here is not really worth it. It is faster to grind experience in the literal sense when you compare how much experience you get per hour, but most of these quests give inventory space, and the Rionan questline gives good experience all the way up to level 100. So if you skip the quest, you might still need to do them later, but then they don't give experience anymore, so grinding here and skipping the quest just slows you down. The giant mutant Bang King. He has just as much HP as the giant Mr. Pumpkin does, but he has a significantly higher attack stat. He always stuns with his special attack and can also stun with his regular attacks. The special attack charges up so fast that getting out of it without max quickstep will be very hard, if not impossible. I've added him to the list since he's kind of a special giant, but there's very little reason to kill him. He is part of the hidden questline that rewards hail swords, but most players who want those go after this at a higher level. I start a fight and I quickly learn that I'm indeed not getting away from his special attacks. Even if I would react immediately to these attacks, I would simply not have the movement speed to escape in time. Luckily, I geared up so much for the previous fight that I can basically stat check this guy. His special attack hits pretty hard, but it's not enough to get through Leon Chu's super high defense and HP, and I can quickly heal myself back up with the food I bought. Meanwhile, Guisto's Mummy was eating away at his HP very quickly, so this boss turned out to be the easiest one so far. The last thing I want to do in this episode is getting to level 30. A nice round number to start the next episode with. To get there I only need to complete the last step in the Rionan questline and the final steps of the History questline, which required me to fly all the way to Darken 3 on my very slow boards. I turn in a quest in Saint Morning and my characters reach level 30. That's it for this episode. So far I've had a lot of fun making this series. Playing like this changes the entire game. So I'm actually doing stuff at low level, rather than just trying to rush to the end game as fast as possible. This means that every upgrade at every level is significant and requires planning. I will need this for the next episode as well, as I plan to tackle 4 bosses in it, which are all very tough. See you there.